Peter Finnan here for IrishGolfer.ie. I'm here today at Cnc Driving Range at McGurk's Golf Custom Fit Centre to take a look at the 2021 Cobra RAD Speed driver. So what is RAD Speed? RAD Speed is short for radial distance. And Cobra this year are going with extreme weight between front and back of the club to try and optimise that MOI and CG in the club head to really try and maximise ball speed, forgiveness and launch. So I'm joined here today by Mark O'Mahony, PGA professional, to go through everything from last year's product, this year's product, find out what gains we can have where, and just see how RAD Speed works. Cheers Mark, thanks for joining us today. First things first, Cobra RAD Speed. I like a good head cover.
Yeah, it looks really
neat. It looks really good. The yellow, it feels quality, you know. It is fairly awe-inspiring. When I took the head cover off this first and looked at it, first thing jumped out at me, yeah, the colours, but looking down on that carbon sort of matte finish. I really like that matte finish on the club.
Industrial looking, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's tidy, it's clean, it's nice. I know they've changed from that sort of gloss finish they had last year on the Speed Zone driver. So we've talked a little bit, I suppose in the intro we've done here, we've talked about the name, RAD Speed, radial weighting. So talk to me a little bit about the tech that we're going to look for in this head and what I suppose what we can expect from it.
Yeah. The biggest thing that sticks out to for me is the T-bar speed chassis. So that kind of goes across the crown, and that allows them to input then the carbon fibre. It's kind of a weight saving of 13 grams. Mightn't seem like a lot, but there's no question about it. This is a speed story along with a weighting and chassis story, and it definitely, to your point, they've gotten it. They've gotten it right, no question. So it's it looks nice, but also as well, the tech story behind it is really inspiring, because that weight now that they've saved, they can push it down into the bottom of the club to generate more speed.
And all manufacturers are really looking for that optimal CG, MOI placement of stuff, and Cobra have really stretched to where not many manufacturers have gone before with that distance between the weights.
Yeah, 100%. And as you work across the neutral axis, that's the ability to shift weight across that. And the key influence here, along with that chassis story now in the T-bar side of things, it's going to give them the ability of launch and spin. So with that higher launch, lower spin story now, the golfer in theory should eke out about 5 to 6 yards.
There's a lot of familiar areas on this golf club, most notably I suppose from the last couple of years, that Infinity Cnc milled face.
Yeah.
They've stuck with that this year, and it's something that I suppose they've had as their niche for the last few years. Talk a little bit about the tech behind that.
Yes, so the Cnc Infinity Face it's actually, I think it's inspiring for the consumer to see that. Because it shows that Cobra are confident in what they're bringing to the market in relation to the face. There's a nice process involved in that. It takes 25 minutes, imagine, to mill out that face. What that'll allow them to do is that'll allow them to really push the face to its tolerance, so the golfer can eke out every bit of performance. And that, along with the chassis and weighting story, that's really, really important in a sense of speed. Because everything from what we achieve through impact comes through the face. The chassis then behind that, along with the weighting system, that's where you're bringing everything together to create that performance.
Well, we've gone through some of the tech on it now. I suppose let's compare RAD Speed to last year's Speed Zone driver, and we'll hit a couple of shots with each of them, see what we find. And let's give it a test. Right, so we got some interesting feedback from that, especially from my point of view. it felt really, really good off the club face. That milled face, you can really feel the ball just feels soft. It comes off it fast.
Yeah.
I've definitely improved. I just seem a little bit more efficient with this year's Rad Speed. I'm getting better numbers from similar swings.
Yeah, it was quite consistent going from the SZ into the Rad Speed. I think the key thing that you were attracted to was the actual look of the club.
Big time,
that's
yeah,
a very important element. I think as a golfer we have to like what we're looking down
And
at.
sound as well. I love the sound. It's not as last year it went a bit loud, I thought, with the Speed Zone driver, whereas Rad is definitely a little duller. I suppose they're using a bit more carbon and stuff like that.
That's exactly it. That's where the acoustics are going to slightly change. Product probably sounds a little bit like product of old, the Cobra LTD. That also had a bit of carbon fiber in it as well.
Yeah.
So you're going to definitely hear a different sound acoustic change on that. From your performance though, going from the SZ, we could definitely see a change in the launch. The launch was about a degree 1.2 degrees of an increase going from the SZ into the Rad Speed, which was actually really, really good for you, because for you your flight is actually probably a little flat, and then your spin actually didn't really change. There was maybe 100 revs in the difference. The maximum change of RPM going from a previous Cobra driver into a Rad Speed is only going to be about 300 revs anyway.
Yeah.
So the whole essence here is where that weight is positioned, it allowed you to actually launch it.
So maintaining my spin and optimizing that launch a bit more just got me a little bit more efficient through the ball and got me those few extra yards.
Exactly. Also as well, with Rad Speed, and then you have XD, and then you have XB, that also kind of is going to initiate a nice process to go through, because there's different weightings within those three clubs. What we tried here was actually one of the heaviest weighted ones. The XB is the lightest, so that's actually going to increase even more club head speed because it's a lighter product, and offer a lot more ball speed.
So XB could have been a little more suited for me if we were going through a full fit process with the 3 Cobra heads.
Exactly.
The 3 Rad Speed heads, I would probably go for XB.
Yeah, like I would definitely have ignited the session with that. There's another reason as well, is that through the 3 different models that's available in Rad Speed, it actually, one for a better word, it would suit a slightly better golfer, because it's a flatter address position. It's 1 degree flat as a lie angle. There's also a little bit more bulge in the face for workability. As you get into the XB, which is extreme back, so that's where the weight is positioned. So that's going to offer, because it's a bit lighter as well, higher launch, more speed.
Yeah.
But it's actually in a standard lie position, which is really nice. And then you get into the XD, which is extreme draw. So there's actually weighting in the heel.
A little bit more upright as well, just to promote that.
Exactly, for that golfer who tends to move it a little bit left to right and wants to allow that club to square up a little bit easier. That's where that XD can be that bit more efficient for them.
So you really have covered a huge spectrum of players. Like, there is a Rad Speed head literally out there for every golfer in the market.
It's a very simple thing, in a sense that there's 3 driver heads. You'll already potentially know what one to test before anything or get fitted for, and then you have that option of trying the other 2. So I really like their approach, and then it kind of gets into the My Connect story as well, and also the My Flight story is relative to the loft, but also relative to maintaining your kind of your data, if you will. So as you shift into it, you can continuously evolve with it.
So it's a cold December day here. I'm swinging roughly 99, 100 miles an hour with driver. I've got some efficient stats from it. You're up around 110, so what did you find from your, so I suppose 2 different swing spectrums altogether?
Yeah, I was surprised with the launch. It's not something I would struggle to achieve, but straight away when I hit the Rad Speed, it was in the air in no time. Kind of my launch angle went up by 2 degrees. Interestingly, my ball speed went up by another 2. I would say that's down to where the CG weight is located, the actual fixed weight in the head. It's a lot lower and pushed quite forward as well. So anytime you're looking to achieve maximum speed, that's where you need to push that weight close to the face. Because it's a little lower, that aided the ball to get into the air that little bit quicker. So felt lovely. It looked very nice, kind of that roll effect on the crown that was in kind of the SZ and the F9. I like the way that's continued. There's a nice blend into it.
Good flow to the club head,
To me, it just inspired us straight to a draw shot straight away. So it was confident when I looked at it, but then the inner workings of it really backed up what the tech story is to what I actually visually saw.
So drawing a line under the whole Rad Speed line, I suppose, what are the main takeaways in anyone that has an old Cobra product or another driver of what they're going to achieve from one of these 3 Rad Speed heads?
Biggest thing for me is their tech story is backed up by the performance. So the golfer is going to definitely hear a different sound when they use Rad Speed. And there's no question about it, they are going to benefit from a higher launch and lower spin. The speed side of things will be dependent on the golfer and be dependent as to just where they're at. Overall, when a Rad Speed is optimized for that golfer in question, they're potentially going to increase their yardage by 5 to 6 yards. And I like that. That's an honest kind of conclusion they've come to with their tech story, that if we get the golfer into the right launch and spin window, this is the result. And so far they've backed it up. So they will be the takeaways for me.
One thing that the Rad Speed really comes with this year again is Cobra Connect. So it's something that Cobra have used for a lot of years now. I see other manufacturers, TaylorMade, Ping are getting involved now. Cobra have had this 4 or 5 years. In this modern age of data, of knowing your own stats and improvement, and that's a real way of improvement. Like Cobra have figures out that you improve from using Cobra Connect 4.2 shots a year on average. So that's an average shot. So like with technology like that armed on the bottom of every club, it is a real plus as well for the consumer.
Most definitely. And I think what it does is it kind of keeps that user experience from when they've got fitted for the product, that they can still kind of keep an eye on it and they can see themselves evolve and move forward with the product. So that kind of makes life much easier for the golfer going forward. It gives them fantastic information to keep evolving, and also keeps a nice storyline going for the golfer as they move into different Cobra models as they come out, like Rad Speed.
And I suppose from a consumer's point of view, it's so much easier now to monitor. When these came out first, you had to have a phone in your pocket for monitoring and stuff like that. It's moved on so much since then. With you now have Arcos Caddy you can stick the sensors into your udder. You don't have to have your phone in your pocket. It automatically picks everything up. So it's seamless.
Yeah, 100%. And it makes sense for the golfer to kind of have it there. It's information that we all like to get to allow us kind of move forward in the game. So yeah, I agree. I think it's a great initiative.
So there we have it, Cobra Rad Speed drivers for 2021. I can't stress the importance from sitting down with Mark and going through the fit process and the options on the 3 heads, the weighting system, everything about the fit system, the hosel. You really do need to get custom fit for this product. And when you think someone, I suppose the 2 tour stars you're going to see using Rad Speed a lot this year, you're going to see Ricky Fowler, you're going to see Bryson DeChambeau, and you've one Ricky Fowler probably using 44 and a half inch length driver, and you've Bryson, God only knows what he's using these days, 47, 48. We'll see soon enough, but I can't stress the importance of getting custom fit for this product to really hone down into which of the heads suits you and to unlock the performance benefits that you'll see across the spectrum of Rad Speed for 2021. They're available on the 29th of January this year, so check them out online. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do enjoy the video, hit subscribe down below, and we'll see you soon.